Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A crash and a fire. Teams found a charred SUV at an abandoned apartment building as it burned in Durham. The search for the driver of that stolen car.
And we have the potential for some light rain and sprinkles as you're heading out the door this morning and then later this afternoon. I'll walk you through Futurecast.
And a former principal murdered. A teen is due in court today after she died, weeks after she was shot. What we know about the two teens facing charges. A lot to cover here on your Wednesday morning. We're glad you're up with us at 6 o'clock. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Waking up to some more comfortable temperatures, but we do have that next weather maker that Elizabeth's been tracking for the last couple of days now. And it looks like there's some activity out on the coast there, Elizabeth.
We have this stalled front, and we have this low that's moving up that front, rotating moisture in across our area. You may have noticed it got cloudy in some places late yesterday. Well, those clouds will be with us all day long, and that low is going to push in just enough moisture for some light rain and drizzle. We're seeing a little bit of that around Raleigh, definitely here just along the I-95 corridor too, across parts of Vance and Franklin counties, and then up near the Virginia line around Roanoke Rapids. See that light patchy rain right there. None of it's going to be heavy. You're just going to notice a sprinkle or two, and that's going to be the case on and off all day, especially this morning, and then potentially again later on this evening. So keep checking back with us again for those chances for some showers today. Cloudy skies right now, 65 in the Triangle, 62 is our dew point. So it continues to be a little on the moist side. Temperatures are slightly warmer than yesterday, starting off in the 60s, but with cloud cover, we stay fairly cool today in the mid 70s. It is the statistical peak of the hurricane season, but we'll talk about why it's been quiet coming up. Chris?
And Elizabeth, for the past half hour, we've been tracking this crash. This is on the on-ramp heading onto I-87 south from Wendell Boulevard. We'll give you a live look at how things are progressing, and you see multiple emergency vehicles from the fire department to EMS to the police on scene. Reportedly some injuries, but those getting onto I-87 south don't seem to be having any trouble on that ramp. So in terms of any kind of delay times on I-87 so far, no major delays. We'll let you know when that changes on the go. 101.5 HD3 on the radio.
We know you will. Chris, thank you. Breaking news. Fire crews in Durham were fighting a fire at an abandoned apartment building this morning when they found a burned out car as well. Ali Kadlubar is on Lakeland Street in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, within the last half hour, you saw an SUV being towed away.
Renee, you can see where that SUV crashed into the building right here. There's that large hole. You can see damage from the crash and damage from that fire. We want to show you this SUV that we saw being towed out of the building. You can see that it is completely charred, and it's also you can't even tell the make or model. Now, Durham Fire Department says they responded around 1:45 to a building fire. It's at the former Lincoln apartment complex. It's been abandoned for more than a decade. When they got there, they found that SUV crashed in the building. Now, listen to this, a Durham police officer reacting to seeing that SUV crashed inside the building.
It's kind of weird. There's a car in the building. It's an SUV. It's just very weird the way it's positioned.
Kind of weird it was positioned. It was crashed inside the building. We're still working to find out if or how the crash and the fire are connected. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
Today, an 18-year-old is due in court charged in the murder of a former Wake County principal. Erica Lucas died this week after she was shot last month. Let's go and bring in WRAL's Laura Levine. She's live outside the Wake County Justice Center in Raleigh. And Laura, two teenagers have been charged in this case.
Chris, good morning. Wake Forest police arrested 18-year-old Dexter Mills as well as a 16-year-old. They're now facing murder charges, and Dexter Mills will make his first court appearance today here at the Wake County Detention Center and Justice Center. We know all of this comes as Erica Lucas. She was shot nearly 2 weeks ago at a home in Wake Forest on East Nelson Avenue. Lucas was the former principal of Roseville High School. She's also the wife of Wake Forest High School football coach Reggie Lucas. She's been in the hospital for several days in critical condition. The community came together last week to pray for her and their family while she fought for her life. Wake Forest police said that Lucas was not the intended target of this shooting. Meanwhile, we know Dexter Mills, again facing those murder charges. He is expected to face a judge later today here at 1:30 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Only a breaking news story this morning as Poland's military says it shot down Russian drones that came over its airspace during an attack on Ukraine. Poland called the drones an act of aggression that posed a real threat to the safety of their citizens. Now, this is the first time Russian drones have been shot down over a NATO member state.
The family of the woman killed in a stabbing on a Charlotte light rail train says they are heartbroken beyond words. In a statement, Irina Zaruska's family says, quote, Irina came here to find peace and safety, and instead her life was stolen from her in the most horrific way. DeCarlos Brown is now facing federal charges for her death. The stabbing happened a little over 2 weeks ago. Zaruska's family says she had recently come to the U.S. from Ukraine to escape the war with Russia. Brown could face the death penalty if convicted.
Now, the video of that stabbing has gained increased attention from lawmakers from North Carolina to Washington, D.C. In fact, the lawmakers are outraged that Brown wasn't in jail while he awaited trial for other charges. President Donald Trump and other Republicans are blaming North Carolina Democrats, and Democrats are also calling for reforms to the criminal justice system. Legislatures are vowing to investigate, and even the state auditor is weighing in on this. You can see those responses and who's being blamed in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
New details about the man involved in a 7-hour standoff in Franklin County. The county's top prosecutor says Fritz Fink is charged with firing into an occupied property. Deputies took Fink into custody early yesterday morning. We brought you this story as breaking news. Investigators say he barricaded himself in a home on Twin Creek Drive near Bunn and fired at officers. Family members tell WRAL they called 911 saying Fink had been drinking and was firing at the walls in his home.
A U.S. Postal Service worker is accused of stealing from the mail in Clayton. James Cartwright, you see right here on your screen, faces multiple felonies because of this. Police say the investigation began in August because of a report made about a stolen gift card and suspected mail tampering. Authorities said they learned Cartwright used the stolen card to purchase gas. Clayton Police is working with the Postal Service to determine if he is connected to other cases.
The sheriff investigating the death of a 7-year-old boy says he is not ruling out foul play. Searchers found Liam King's body in a pond near where he was last seen in Randolph County. Investigators say Liam's mother was not home when he disappeared. Her boyfriend, who lives at the home, was watching Liam. Several agencies and volunteers searched for the boy for 2 days. Liam's body was sent to the medical examiner's office to determine cause of death.
This week, we expect to get an idea of prices companies are paying and potentially passing on to you. First, there's the Producer Price Index releasing this morning at 8:30. Basically, it tracks the prices of which producers and manufacturers receive for their goods from retailers and distributors. Now, you could pay more if prices for them get too high and then they decide to make you pay more. In terms of what you're paying for goods, well, that's what we'll understand better tomorrow when the Consumer Price Index releases.
Tonight is the first of 3 candidate forums for Durham's primary election. Voters will get the chance to meet candidates for mayor tonight. That will be at the Phoenix Event Center on Fayetteville Street. That's from 6 to 8 p.m. Candidates for wards 1, 2, and 3 will be having forums over the next 2 nights. Early voting for the primary starts next week.
Just a heads up, an Apex Road will stay closed into next year because of a sinkhole there. We brought you this story here on WRAL, that section of Olive Chapel Road that collapsed after flooding last month. Well, the DOT says it will award a contract for repairs next month. But in the meantime, teams are working to relocate underground lines. Olive Chapel Road is expected to reopen in late January, and detours are in place.
Today, Fayetteville will honor its former mayor. A monument is set to be unveiled for Mayor Bill Hurley. Hurley, you may remember, served as mayor in the 1980s. The city credits him with bringing life to downtown. Hurley also served in the State House of Representatives for more than a decade. He died in 2018. Today's ceremony will be in front of Segra Park at 10 a.m.
Today, we'll hear more from Duke football coach Manny Diaz. The Blue Devils are set to take on Tulane on the road this weekend, and they'll try to rebound after losing to Illinois at home on Saturday. And so we'll tell you what Diaz has to say about his team during our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m.
It is 6:09. Safety protocols. Wake County Schools is talking about new ways to keep students safe. The questions leaders are raising about possible solutions.
And Epstein documents denial. President Trump is claiming his reported signature seen in a newly released document in the Epstein files is fake. Hear what lawmakers are saying about the potential release of even more documents.
And look at this. We are starting to now see a little bit of drizzle on the cameras, in particular in downtown Raleigh. I'll show you how that could affect your morning commute.
And see if you're lucky enough to match any of these numbers. Your Mega Millions numbers are 6, 43, 52, 64, and 65. The gold Mega Ball is 22.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, this low pressure system pushing moisture in across our area, now producing a few sprinkles that you'll have to deal with during the morning commute. We have gray skies and cool temperatures that you'll be dealing with, especially this morning. We may get a break around midday, and then during the evening, we may see another push of some moisture bringing us a few sprinkles. Take a look at the top of the tower. We have it lit in purple for cloudy skies, but of course you can see here that there is some rain on the camera lens. It's nothing heavy. We'll take another look. Here's downtown Raleigh, and you can see it here as well. Not heavy, but that steady drizzle, of course, could make just for some messy conditions. It may not affect the commute per se, but you may wish you had your umbrella. You may think about sending the kids out with a raincoat or an umbrella as well. Temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 60s, a little warmer than yesterday. And with this drizzle, you might want to take your workout inside. Later this afternoon, we climb into the mid 70s. Chris?
And Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Maybe you have an early flight out of RDU. I-40 at Aviation Parkway, everything is flowing pretty smoothly. But new into the traffic center, when we keep an eye on some of the sensors and everything, you're starting to notice some of that green popping up, an indication of some of just the wet roads out there. Not a huge roll on your morning commute, but just south of those points, I-87 at Wendell Boulevard. We'll give you an update on that crash coming up in less than 5 minutes.
All right, sounds good, Chris. Thank you. New security features may be coming to Wake County schools. The school board is looking into a plan that lays out how emergencies at large events are handled. On Monday, an 18-year-old student was caught on campus with an airsoft gun in Cary. And last month, shots were fired in a different school's parking lot. The school board also discussed possible new security features such as door locks, even alarms, and it's also weighing the value of weapon detection systems.
What is the best way to deploy this in our district? What is going to be the benefit and what is the cost, and how do we leverage all of this?
Wake County Schools plans to conduct a new security assessment in the district soon. You see, the last one was done in 2019 and it was finalized in 2021.
President Donald Trump says the signature on a newly released image from the Jeffrey Epstein estate is not his. The image is drawn on a birthday letter that was given to Epstein in 2003. It includes a note and what appears to be Trump's signature. The president responded to the story last night.
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time knows that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time.
The head of the House Oversight Committee says it is pushing for more Epstein documents, but the committee does not plan to follow up on this particular note.
A federal judge is blocking President Trump's attempt to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. The judge ruled the firing is likely illegal and that Cook must be reinstated immediately. Trump cited an investigation into possible mortgage fraud in his attempt to fire her, but she has not been charged. But if the Trump administration appeals, well, the case could end up at the Supreme Court.
Tensions are high in the Middle East this morning after Israel carried out a strike in Qatar. The strike happened in the capital city of Doha. Israel says it was targeting senior Hamas leadership. Hamas says 5 members were killed. Qatar's Interior Ministry says a member of its internal security forces was also killed. This appears to be the first time Israel has launched an operation against Qatar. U.S. officials say President Trump was notified before the strike.
A small stretch of the Blue Ridge Parkway is back open after years of work. This stretch is in Sparta, North Carolina. That's near the Virginia line, if you're familiar. The National Park Service is working on making upgrades to more than a 75-mile stretch of that that popular highway. This work is separate from the repairs needed after Helene. The National Park Service expects to finish the project at least next year.
A new version of a popular attraction in western North Carolina is coming. Contractors approved a plan to build a new rainbow bridge in Lake Lure. The bridge was one of many things destroyed during Helene, and these pictures show what it looked like before the storm. It stood for decades and attracted people who lost their pets from across the state. The idea being they're crossing the Rainbow Bridge. It's one of many projects in the works to make Lake Lure whole again. We're bringing you stories of heartbreak and hope in the mountains 1 year after Helene. It's part of our new WRAL documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found. It airs Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 on WRAL and wherever you stream WRAL.
We sincerely hope you make time to watch that. In terms of weather, there's some light rain out there, Elizabeth. Not enough to warrant us to take out the WRAL storm tracker or issue an alert day, but it is part of that next weather maker that you're tracking right now.
So here's what's happening. We have a lingering boundary. We've had a low pressure system develop along it and start to move northward. So that's rotating some moisture in across our area. We're going to see that on and off today. It's going to be really light. It'll be patchy, but you could see it at any point today. We're starting to see some of that this morning. And again, it shouldn't be a big deal, but Chris Michael's coming up in a few minutes to talk about how traffic is looking so far. Just a little bit of light patchy rain from, say, all the way up around Roanoke Rapids, here through parts of Vance County, over around Rocky Mount too, starting to show up there, and in parts of Wake County too. So parts of the viewing area seeing these sprinkles. Here's a live look at downtown Raleigh, and you can see a good bit of water here on the camera lens, but it's drizzly, and again, not looking at anything heavy that you'll have to deal with. But coming down heavily enough, you may need to run your windshield wipers, and you may want to send the kids out with an umbrella. Fayetteville is dry right now. You can see the Raleigh camera is wet. Apex looking just a little bit damp, but things look dry in Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurants. You're going to see varying conditions. A lot of the showers that we see from this system are going to be from the Triangle area northward and eastward because it's coming off of the coast. Lots of cloud cover with us today. We'll pause it there at 2 o'clock. Watch how another wave comes in later on during the evening, and we may even see that overnight. We could be dealing with this again tomorrow as well. Notice how most of the rain is going to be closer to the coast, quarter of an inch there, just very, very light amounts for us. And the farther west you go, the less amount of rain that you'll see. Statistically, today is the peak of the hurricane season, and it's very quiet. No tropical systems are expected in the next 7 days. You can see statistically, watch how it ramps up here September 10th. But we tend to call the peak of the season late August through about the middle of September. Why has it been so quiet for the last week or so? We have a lot of dust coming off the coast of Africa right here through the tropics where most of the systems develop. The dusty air is very dry and doesn't allow systems to develop. But possibly toward the end of the month, we could have more systems coming off the coast of Africa. So it is not over yet. Meteorologist Chris Michael has wrote a great article about that on WRAL.com. Temperatures do begin to warm up as we get closer to the weekend. Tomorrow may be a little cool and drizzly, but at least we have some nice weather to look forward to this weekend. Some not so great traffic to look forward to, though.
Yeah, been following this crash here on I-87. This is the on-ramp onto I-87 from Wendell Boulevard. And the tow truck just pulled up. It's loading the sedan onto the bed there. But you do see the folks that are trying to get onto 87 southbound, at least just taking it slow on the on-ramp. It's not causing any major delays, but this is something that we've been following here now for about the past 45 minutes. In terms of delays on I-87, none right now, just a 2-minute delay coming into Raleigh on Capitol Boulevard. We'll let you know if and when that changes on the go. You can listen to us on 101.5 HD3.
Your time is 6:20 this morning. DEI crackdown at NC State. A women's group on campus was suspended to comply with new UNC system policies. But we're trying to figure out from the school about the future of that organization.
Toddler Tower tip-overs. 5 on Your Side has a warning about safety concerns with many kids' step stools.
Just a reminder, if you ever see breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or some video or pictures of severe weather where you are, please report it to us by going to WRAL.com/report it. That way you can send your video, your pictures, and tip off our news team.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Students and staff at NC State are reacting after a group aimed at celebrating women's achievements has been suspended. This is part of the UNC system's ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. The NC State Council on the Status of Women focuses on advancing gender equity and creating an inclusive environment for women. The group announced plans to shut down earlier this week. Some students we spoke with say this speaks to a larger issue. Others don't think the suspension was a bad decision.
We have not come as far as people would like to think we have, because I think if the only thing keeping you accountable for being inclusive is federal laws and rulings, and then you get rid of it the second they're no longer mandatory.
For me personally, I haven't noticed the difference, and I didn't really know that it was there to begin with.
We've reached out to the Vice Provost of Equal Opportunity at NC State to learn more about the move to suspend the organization and if it could be reinstated. We are waiting to hear back.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug and Home.
Big returns in music and on Broadway.
Let's take a look at what's trending this morning. So first, Hilary Duff is returning to music for the first time in a decade. The actress and singer has signed with Atlantic Records to release her first album in 10 years. A docuseries is also in the work about her journey back to the stage. It's been genuinely interesting to see her career, especially being popular in that show Younger and some other stuff too.
And over the last 10 years, she got married. She had 3 kids with her new husband, and she has an older kid from her previous marriage. So she'd been a little busy, but now perhaps these new songs will reflect her new stages in life. Well, a big return to the stage on Broadway. Leslie Odom Jr. reprised his role as Aaron Burr in Hamilton last night. He played the character when the show hit stages back in 2015. This is a limited run for the 10th anniversary of Hamilton's debut. He will be on Broadway through November 23rd, and ticket prices have skyrocketed as a result.
I mean, I believe he said that returning to Hamilton, it's deeply meaningful to him, and he's so excited to step back in that room where a lot of magical things happen for him in his career.
Yep. Back in the room where the magic happens.
A celebrity sighting in the Triangle. Mr. Monopoly met with Mayor Janet Cowell and other city staff members, including the Hurricanes mascot, Stormy. They celebrated Raleigh's own edition of Monopoly. Well-known landmarks and parks, buildings, streets, and more will be in the board game. Here's how Raleigh made that list.
We choose cities that have a lot going on, and that typifies Raleigh. We have arts, we have history, we have universities, so we've got the growth and sort of the population. We're going to look at the whole city and some of the newer areas in addition to some of the older areas, and look at African American history and all the diverse aspects of this city.
And historical parts of the city you could including WRAL. Monopoly is also going to ask residents what they want to see in the game, and it's expected to debut next year. Your time is 6:26. Investigation underway. A crashed stolen SUV was found at the scene of an abandoned apartment fire in Durham. What we know about any possible connection between the two.
And former principal killed. A woman in Wake County has died after she was shot late last month. What we know about the teens who are charged with her murder ahead of their court appearance today.
We have sprinkles showing up here as we take a look at our camera through downtown Raleigh. You can see Fayetteville Street is wet. I'll let you know if your commute will be soggy coming up.